Avengers Doomsday has officially locked in not one, not two, but three different Captain Americas for what's being called Marvel's most ambitious movie to date. And that's not even counting the fourth legacy hero who just joined the roster. What exactly is Marvel planning? How will this affect the future of the multiverse? And what does this tell us about where the MCU is heading after Secret Wars? Let's break it all down. The first major bombshell centers on Chris Evans himself. The original Captain America, Steve Rogers, who seemingly retired at the end of Avengers Endgame, is reportedly making his return for Avengers Doomsday. But don't expect the same version of Steve we last saw handing off the shield. Insiders are suggesting that Evans may return either as a multiverse variant, a nomad version of Captain America, or even a darker twist on the character. The multiverse allows Marvel to pull from any timeline, and Evans' return could give fans a completely different version of the character they once knew, potentially even as an alternate universe villain or morally conflicted version of Cap. This alone would be enough to make headlines, but Evans isn't coming back alone. While Evans represents the original legacy, Avengers Doomsday will firmly establish Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson as the current Captain America leading the MCU's next generation of heroes. Mackie first took over the shield in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Marvel has made it clear that Sam Wilson is at the center of the Avengers' future, and Doomsday will be his biggest test yet. For many fans, Sam Wilson's journey reflects everything Captain America stands for: growth, leadership, and adapting to an evolving world while staying true to core values. He'll serve as the heart of this massive Avengers team. The third Captain America entering the battle is Wyatt Russell's John Walker, better known now as U.S. Agent. First introduced in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Walker briefly held the title of Captain America before being stripped of it due to his violent actions. Walker brings a darker, more morally complicated take on what it means to carry the shield. Walker's return in Doomsday adds tension to the already loaded Avengers roster. His presence will likely create internal conflict, as the various versions of Captain America are forced to work together or possibly clash during the multiverse crisis ahead. And just when you thought the Captain America lineup was full, Marvel added one more legacy shield bearer into the mix: David Harbour's Red Guardian. First introduced in Black Widow and recently featured in Thunderbolts, Red Guardian represents Russia's version of Captain America. He may not carry the same global symbolism, but his inclusion signals Marvel's desire to show multiple national perspectives on what heroism looks like. With Red Guardian in play, Doomsday is shaping up to feature the most diverse lineup of Captain America-style characters we've ever seen, symbolizing not just one nation's ideals, but a global battle for the future of the multiverse. At first glance, bringing together multiple versions of Captain America might seem like simple fan service, a way to give each corner of the MCU audience something familiar to latch onto. But when you look closer, it reveals exactly how important Avengers Doomsday is becoming for Marvel's long-term future. This isn't just about stacking heroes, it's about rebuilding the entire MCU foundation. For over a decade, Captain America has stood as one of the MCU's most important symbols. Steve Rogers didn't just lead the Avengers, he represented the moral core of the Infinity Saga. But once Steve passed the shield to Sam Wilson, Marvel entered new territory. The question became, what does Captain America actually mean going forward? And can one version of the character still carry the weight of that symbol in a rapidly expanding multiverse? That's where this approach gets smart. Instead of trying to force one version of Cap to represent every audience, Marvel is acknowledging that Captain America means different things to different people. For longtime fans, Steve Rogers remains the original, the symbol of sacrifice, loyalty, and leadership. For a new generation, Sam Wilson represents progress, responsibility, and navigating a more complex world. And for viewers intrigued by moral gray areas, John Walker shows the dangers of unchecked power, someone who tried to be Captain America, but failed to live up to what the shield actually stands for. By assembling all of them into one film, Marvel isn't just stacking cameos, they're telling a story about legacy, consequence, and what happens when the symbol of Captain America gets tested across realities. And then there's Red Guardian. While not technically part of the Captain America bloodline, his inclusion widens the scope even more, adding an international perspective. It shows how other nations have created their own versions of Captain America, which adds a geopolitical layer to the multiversal stakes. If different universes and even different countries all have their own Captain America, what happens when all these timelines crash together? On top of all that, pulling multiple versions of the same role into one movie helps Marvel prep for Secret Wars, where countless variants and legacy heroes will likely collide. The multiverse allows Marvel to experiment to bring back fan favorites, explore alternate timelines, and test which characters resonate most as the franchise reshapes itself. And strategically, it's a brilliant move for retention and long-term fan investment. By giving audiences multiple Captain Americas, Marvel keeps fans from every phase engaged. Whether you started with the first Avenger, joined during the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or became a fan through Thunderbolts, everyone has a Captain America to root for in this film, and that's exactly how Marvel keeps momentum as it enters its next massive phase. And it doesn't stop there. During a livestream event that set fandom on fire, Marvel teased dozens of heroes confirmed for Avengers Doomsday. Characters like Thor, Loki, the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and many more were revealed through a massive chair lineup, turning what was already a stacked cast into one of the biggest ensembles ever attempted in comic book history. Marvel is clearly pulling out all the stops for this film, hoping to recreate the cultural phenomenon that was Infinity War and Endgame, but with even higher stakes involving collapsing timelines and multiversal chaos. Naturally, the fan base is buzzing. Many fans are thrilled to see so many legacy characters finally crossing over, calling Doomsday a love letter to every corner of the MCU. Others, though, are expressing concern that the film might become too crowded, struggling to give every character meaningful screen time. And one huge question still looms: why weren't certain major characters like Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, or Captain Marvel included in the chair lineup? Theories are already flying that secret cameos and surprise appearances are being held back to avoid spoiling key multiverse twists. This isn't just another Avengers sequel. What Marvel is building with Avengers Doomsday could very well serve as the turning point for the entire multiverse saga. Right now, the MCU is standing at a crossroads. The Infinity Saga united fans for over a decade, but Phase 4 and 5 have faced growing criticism. Some feel the storytelling has become too fragmented, while others argue that the multiverse itself is becoming too confusing for casual fans to follow. Marvel needs Doomsday to do two very important things at the same time: satisfy longtime fans who crave big, emotional payoffs, while also simplifying and realigning the MCU timeline for new viewers who may feel lost in the current chaos. And this is exactly where the multiverse becomes both the problem and the solution. By bringing together multiple versions of Captain America, along with legacy characters across every branch of Marvel's cinematic history, Avengers Doomsday creates a perfect storm. It allows Marvel to honor everything that's come before while setting up a clean slate for everything that's coming next. In one single event, Marvel can pull in characters from the Fox X-Men universe, variants from Sony's Spider-Man films, returning actors from older phases, and even introduce entirely new characters from alternate realities, all without permanently damaging the core MCU timeline. This is also Marvel's opportunity to directly address one of the biggest criticisms of Phase 4, the feeling that there's been no clear direction. The multiverse saga has been filled with smaller stories that sometimes felt disconnected from one another. But Doomsday has the potential to finally pull all of those loose threads together, making sense of Kang, the TVA, the incursions, and the consequences of multiverse tampering. And strategically, Marvel is also future-proofing the franchise. If certain characters land with audiences, they can be pulled into the new mainline MCU permanently. If others don't, their stories can be closed off within their own timelines. This kind of flexibility allows Marvel to continuously adjust based on audience feedback while still delivering massive, interconnected storytelling. To sum it all up, Avengers Doomsday is stacking the deck with not one, not two, but three versions of Captain America plus Red Guardian in what could be the most ambitious Marvel project ever attempted. The film won't just reboot the Avengers, it might completely reshape the multiverse and give the MCU a brand new foundation for the next decade.